Alright, so welcome to Nome. I made it. Anyways, we've been recovering for a day or so and a couple nights and getting ready to head out tonight, but I figured I've had some questions about all I carry on this kind of adventure, so I figured as I unpack my bike, I can show you what I brought. And it's also going to serve me in the future to remember what I brought. So, yeah, so I guess we started with a 907 Lynx version 2 frame, and it's been wonderful. I raced it, it's kind of hard to see the embossed logo here, but we got it last just over a year ago, and before a bit before ITI 350 last year, and it's been a wonderful bike. Served me well. I won the race last year too. But yeah, so obviously going to Nome, you got to carry more stuff. It's a completely different ride than going to McGrath, at least the way I like to race it. But so yeah, I'll unpack, and so let's see. We'll start with the back of the bike. So I usually end up with a jacket, kind of some insulation strapped to the top. It's pretty easy access back here. I would have liked to make another dry bag, but I ran out of time, so yeah, this is just the one poop jacket ready to go. Don't stuff it inside anywhere. Then we go to my sleeping bag, sleep system really. I have basically a 3/4 length thermarest there, and these straps are amazing. They're titanium and aluminum, and they work in the cold. So yeah, super easy to take things on and off, and no matter like the 50 below temps, like they're still working. No rubber to stretch and break or whatever. Before we left, I had one that was a little finicky, and once I put some lube on it, it was better. So yeah, this is my sleeping bag, and I have a Western Mountaineering Bison. Actually, on top of that, I have a Exped insulated inflatable. So between my Z-Rest and that, super comfortable on the ground. I slept like a baby a few nights on the Yukon in this configuration. And then, yep, just a big 40 below sleeping bag. I was so happy inside of it. It's hard to get out. So yeah, that is sleep system. Let me go back to my panniers. Well, and I did have these straps kind of looped through the rack on the Old Man Mountain rack to make it pretty easy to put my stuff on there. So this side, I got my pot, like a liter titanium pot. It still has mashed potatoes inside from my last meal at the last cabin, because I figured I wanted some more food. Kind of gross right now. Ew. We were cold and just want to keep going. And I kind of have a mix of fire starter and extra things. Yeah, just I guess it's all fire starter, but kind of emergency fire starter kit. That kind of in multiple sealed bags and lighters and matches and things that burn hot. So that is kind of my pot. And then usually this side I would have a variety of freeze-dried meals, kind of change, and more potatoes. I had some butter in there for a while, and sausage. Still got a couple chocolate bars. Those will be good for the flight home. Yeah, so this is kind of my, there's lots of food that kind of circulated through that bag. On that side with my pot. So yeah, that's everything that was in there. These are awesome. I don't feel like I had to close them all the way. Pretty easy to get in and out of, so that was good. Then the other side, it's kind of more of the clothing side. I had my MSR Whisper Light with a little repair kit in there and just stove stuff. Used it quite a bit. And I've got some extra socks and some lightweight insulated pants that I've modified. They didn't come with from Enlightened equipment, but then I added a kind of a 3/4 length zipper so I can get them on over all my other clothing and boots and stuff. I used them a couple times. I didn't really need them that much. I sat down on them. They were kind of nice to sit on sometimes or kneel on. Then I don't know, a whole bunch of extra straps. Yeah, more extra clothing.
Did you use just about everything?
No,
Clothing-wise, gear-wise?
I never touched my extra socks. I got my Wiggies waders in this bag, and I never pulled out my waders, which was good. I got wet feet a couple times, but not enough to worry about. And I kind of have an emergency like bivy in here, but it was never bivvying cold enough to even think about needing it. Then another extra strap, extra shirt. So this was kind of clothing, extra in the stove. Yeah, so then, let's see, we'll move on to, down here in this down tube bag, I have my stove, and my fuel bottle, and my pump on it. That was super handy, keep the weight down low, out of the way, and just slide it in and out as needed. So yeah, there's my fuel. Okay, we can go to frame bag. So I made this frame bag. It's been awesome. I love my handle. So everything I kept in here. And my little toiletry kit, my contact lens stuff, toothbrush, a couple painkillers. Didn't really. I had some ibuprofen occasionally, but that was about it there. Got my electronics bag with batteries and charging stuff, all kinds of random little electronic things. I basically take it into any warm place or keep it in the sleeping bag with me. Toilet paper, my spare headlamp, which I never needed. Random little drink things that ended up in there over time. Charging cord for my lutein light system. My repair kit. So essentially, I had spare bite valve for my Camelback hose, some chains and cord, a cable, sewing kit, master links, some other tools, patch kit stuff for clothing, and my inflatable mattress, and then a whole bunch of other little like nuts and bolts and cleats for my shoes and kind of little bike things. So
Any mechanicals?
I didn't have any problems on this bike. I lubed the chain like twice. Otherwise, the bike was totally happy, and so that was good. Let's see. Then we go to. So I ended up using my lutein battery. So I had two of these batteries. I almost could have gotten away with one battery for the whole time. I did top it off once or twice, but I don't think I really needed to, and I even had a spare battery. So
how heavy are they?
They're pretty solid, like at least a pound. It's a lot of battery, maybe more. But there's quite a bit of battery there, and I definitely had way more battery than I needed. So that's my batteries for my light system. And then, just extra batteries that I picked up along the way that I didn't want to leave behind. I didn't really, I only used my lithium AA's for my GPS, but I had spare AAA's for my headlamp.
Those batteries were in one of the resupply boxes.
Yeah, so I mean I left a few behind, but they're so expensive. And so that's also why I like my rechargeable stuff. I did have some little flushable wipes used a couple times to get a little bit cleaner. There's a tube in there, just emergency tube in case something's not sealing up right. So yeah, some latex gloves in case you need something.
Perform surgery out there.
Yeah. Oh, and I do have my spare pump in here. Because I've been out and I've broken my pump, and that kind of sucks. So now I always carry a spare pump with me. It's a little smaller, lightweight, but it'll do the trick. So then we get to the other side of the frame bag. This pocket, I keep my main pump. The Bontrager high volume, super basic. If it's really cold, it is kind of nice to warm up the pump head in your jacket. And I also like to tape it. In this case I use hockey tape, so you're not like grabbing a cold chunk of metal, which was one more thing to make your hands cold, so gives you a little grip. So this pump has worked really well for me for a lot of years. And I do take it apart and kind of re-lube things once in a while, so it's been really dependable. And I got my folding saw. I used it a couple times to get some firewood, some of the cabins, so that was nice to have. My spoon for eating always went right in there, knew where it was, still some potato on it. Have some moleskin, I never really needed it. And, a knife always goes in that pocket. I've got this Leatherman Skeletal, which zip ties. But yeah, I really like the Skeletal. I don't know, it's like I got good pliers. I really like a good set of needle nose. That's come in handy, and a good knife. But it also has like regular screwdriver bits. It's got a little tiny Phillips head, which can do the battery port on the battery screws on our trackers. And yeah, this has been a super good tool to have around, and I just carry a little bit of chain lube that I probably should have used more, but I didn't feel like we rode enough to need more. All right, so now we're to the front of the bike. I guess we can start with, well, yeah, usually I would keep my headlamp during the day. Sometimes I would keep it kind of wrapped around my GPS and my light here, my Lupine Leica. Then I got my nose hat. These are made in Fairbanks, and I had a couple moments in the wind that I would strap that on, and it was amazing. So yeah, those kind of lived there, easy access out of the way. Then let's see, some new pogies I made up this winter. They are, I don't know, I was hoping to make one more round of them before the race, but I ran out of time and got sick, and materials weren't here yet. So, but anyways, they worked. I don't have any big complaints, just some little modifications. But so in the under pockets, this side I cut my eyewear. I had sunglasses and a pair of goggles. I didn't need the goggles until we hit the coast, and then they were awesome. Yeah, sunglasses and a fur ruff and everything, and it was amazing. So yeah, it was super handy just like having them in that pocket, and during the night I put my sunglasses in there and forget about them. And then this pocket I kept hand warmers, kind of hand warmers and stuff kind of end up everywhere, but yeah, so I just kind of easy access again, and some other face tape. And so yeah, those are nice little pockets to have handy. And my 2 feed bags, just like trail mix and Pop-Tarts and whatever, just some Cheetos. Yeah, that kind of varied. It was like, okay, I'm just gonna throw some stuff in there, and that way when it's just easy to get to. Same here, like throw some pepperoni and chamois butter and some other food, and I don't know, just another one more place to put stuff. Let's see. Now we get to the fork bags. So on the right side, I kept my liter hydro flask. This would be my like flavored drink of the day, whether it's Tang or cider or goo tabs. Put it in hot water and add some flavor to it. So that was, yeah, these are super easy to open and close. And the other side, identical bag, I had my thermos and my titanium mug. So yeah, essentially these two would allow me to, the right amount of liquid in here, I can create a freeze-dried meal and 1 cup of cocoa or hot drink with at any time. So basically in the morning I would have these full, and then I'm guaranteed that without having to stop and boil water, I can have a meal and a drink. So that was pretty handy.
Are these 2 bags the same company?
Yes. So then this magical front bag that I created a couple of weeks before the race worked out amazingly well. It was, I mean, obviously, yeah, it's kind of the first draft, but I'm pretty happy with how it worked. This was originally going to be mostly clothing, but it kind of ended up like clothing and food, just really easy, quick to access stuff. So, and in here right now, right after the race, I had a buff, gloves, got these awesome wind pants my dad had made for me a while ago, which I use a lot. Whether it's cold or windy, these things are really nice. I have some down mittens, some down shorts in here, which are all key pieces of staying warm in the wind, I guess, and cold. One more windbreaker. This one's a little newer, so it actually does a little better in the wind. Extra spare hat. Then all the random extra food. There's definitely like more gummies in here than I thought there were. Left over, but so yeah, just baggies of food and little oatmeal cream pies, which are awesome. Got my warmer buff. Hand warmers and gloves and
That's pretty deep.
oh, there's a lot. Yeah, another windbreaker jacket. This is my old one, so it doesn't really, a little better in the cold weather. I have a hat, some over boots I made a couple years ago.
Psychedelic.
I never had to pull them out, even with my. I didn't have the warmest boots out there, but I've kind of figured out what works for me, and I like toe warmers and my 45 North Wolf Hammer boots, and yeah, I never, even at 50 below and lots of cold weather and wind, I never had to pull out my over boots.
Let's look at your boots.
Oh, they've been through a lot now. So yeah, this is not the latest version, but not the old, yeah, version ago. But so anyways, I've taken off the boa and added sewn in and some other loops so I can do the Solomon speed laces, which
So yeah, customize. The boa doesn't work in the cold, or what
well,
have you tested?
if it ices up, it doesn't want to you can't open it up very well. So this is just easier, and I feel I can get them tighter too with this. So I mean, and then I also like was sealing up all the seams just to try and make sure water isn't getting in places I don't want water in. And I don't know, I've got a couple little wear holes from the laces, and this was one I found the night before the race. The big hole I sealed up, and I kind of like do the same thing on the cleats. I seal up all the extra holes around there, and yeah, it's been really, this setup has worked really well for me for a while, quite a few years now. It's not the warmest setup, but it works for me. So, and I feel like it's easier walking with this boot than some
Which
of
you
the
did
bigger, warmer boots.
A lot of this year.
Yeah. Yeah, the bigger boot that 45 North makes it's just too bulky and too stiff for me. Where these, I don't know, I'm just so comfortable in. So I don't have any studs on here. But yeah, so these boots have been awesome. They worked again. Dry out the liners whenever we can. Let's see, anything else? Oh yeah, just more. I just have more pockets, more snack pockets. Big pocket on the front, which is maybe a little too big. Side pockets, more hand warmers and Carmex, and just little things to grab. And I got my wallet on one side, and it's not like you need that much. More hand warmer stuff. So yeah, just I don't know. There's a good amount of pockets. It's even into batteries and Dermatone. Yeah. So then my Garmin I used up here, it's all on a this K-Edge mount, dual mount, and then this eTrex 30 Touch, which I don't know, seems to work okay for me. I know some people don't like to touch stuff in the cold, but I do have to take my glove off to make it work well, but it works, so I've been using it for years. Then I have this Lupine Blica, which I believe it's over 2,000 lumens on high, but I have a remote in the handlebar, super controllable, and as much light as you could ever want, which can be nice if you're trying to find stuff out there. Let's see.
Like a trail.
Yeah, I like the trail. And then I guess we can look at the bike a little bit more and what I used. So I was using the 45 North Husker Du tires, which I totally love. They roll well and good flotation on 26-inch rims, on DT Swiss 350 hubs, with a full XTR drivetrain. My time pedals, which are a little heavy, but they were really good. I really liked how they felt clicking in and out. And they have a really nice blue color, so that was good. And let's see. Yeah, I mean, my shifter was doing some weird stuff, and I'm still not sure what was going on, but it worked. It kept working all the way to the end, so I'm not sure if it was a cold weather issue, but I've never had an issue with it in the cold. Yeah, my XC rims. I also used some fatty strippers, silicone ring strips in there, just in case I hit something hard that cracks the rim. There's a better chance that I can keep using it. Otherwise, I mean, obviously the saddle is just such a unique thing for everyone. You gotta find what works. And I always have my handle on my bag, so easy to pick up. Let's see. I guess I have a little bit of clothing. some other clothing I wore. These aren't, I have some identical pants that I wore the whole time with some old Coco tights underneath and some thin like tri-chamois shorts. But yeah, so the pants were good. I've got my trusty jacket that I keep on having to patch up, but I don't know, it's pretty much my favorite jacket, so it's hard to beat. This is kind of like my wear all the time jacket. And then as it gets colder or warmer, yeah, and the wind and cold, like I was using this quite a bit with the ruff on it. I can't put the ruff on the other jacket, but it's still a pretty thin synthetic insulation, but I don't know, it's at 50 below, like I don't need much more than this. Yeah, so that was my other key jacket. Racing to McGrath, I use this a lot more. There's a 3-liter ladder in here. So actually, after leaving McGrath, I kind of just used it more as a water storage. And I took the hose off because I was tired of dealing with the hose running across my chest and getting tangled in other layers. But yeah, at the end, I was just kind of using it as a big water bottle. Didn't need it a lot, but I always kept some water in there, kind of as a reserve. Then I've got my, I have this wool t-shirt I've used a lot. I don't know, it's just kind of my comfort layer maybe. I don't know. So yeah, that's been kind of a, and then this shirt, special in how I've set it up. So I've got all these pockets. So usually I run my iPod right here, so I got instant good access to that, and then food and some other like Dermatone chapstick stuff, and I keep warm in that pocket. Sometimes one of my batteries. Oh, my phone did go into this pocket until I lost it halfway down the Yukon. Apparently I missed the pocket when I was putting it in there, and it just went out the bottom, and it's gonna be on the bottom of the Yukon this spring. Yeah, and then there's a side pocket I can keep my inReach in and keep it warm, and it works just fine. But then the key to these pockets and keeping how everything stays warm is I got this old Camelback vest thing. And when I put it on, it just like pulls it. It's tight enough that it pulls everything right to my body, and I stay warm. I mean, it keeps everything in those pockets like body temp, like so I can, like I get a lot more life out of my phone and my electronics, or I would put cookies in that side pocket, and after a few hours, I would have a nice warm cookie or those oatmeal cream pies.
Fresh from the oven.
Yeah, it was. So any food that was like gets too hard to eat when it's cold, I put it in there and can have a warm treat later. Other than that, I guess that's about it. Besides my knees hurting, everything's feeling pretty good, and time to go home. I'm ready to go home. So, yeah, it was quite an adventure. So it was good though. That's what I wanted. Yeah, another beautiful day at Nome.